All right, guys, welcome to our weekly Team Perseverance Team Call. It is November 3rd. Holy crap, as I just want to say, we're in the month of November, heading into the last 2 months of the year. For those of you that don't know me, and most of you do, but we have new coaches every week. My name is Dave Atkins. I'm your upline star diamond and founder of Team Perseverance here, and this is our weekly call. We get together every Monday at 8:30 to go over news, announcements, and most importantly, recognition for you guys paying it back, paying it forward, and really changing what we have going on. Guys, I can honestly tell you what I have seen in this team in the past year has just blown me away. Blown me away. To think that a year ago, like I told many of you, being at Summit for the second time and leaving there and just saying, enough is enough. I'm drawing the line in the sand. I'm fed up. You know, it's time to start building this, have our own team, start growing, and look where we are now. It's just amazing, and it's going right into the end of our October challenge group, and I'm already seeing a surge with you guys. So with that, I'm going to get right into the announcements for the week. Number one is today is the surge. Remember, the first Monday of every month is Team Perseverance Surge. One of our diamond coaches, Jen Holman, runs that. That's about getting out 10 invites, 10 invites. Invite, and go for no, right? Because if you go for no, you're going to get the yeses. So the dock is up. You still have time. We still have a couple hours. Guys, go for it. And the more you invite people and the more you're willing to accept no, it will be easier to deal with it and you will get those yeses. So get your invites out. It is worth it in the end. And Jen Holman's doing a great job. So Jen, thank you again. Second, the PIO Challenge Pack. For any of you guys that saw the surge this weekend, and if you missed it, it was on Saturday, the November surge. You can watch it. I listened to it on recording. It's youtube.com/Team Beachbody. And the surge is there. It was great with Carl. And listen to all the trainers. A lot of things that are going on. But the two things that, in terms of what's the sale for the month of November, first, the PIO Challenge Pack is normally $160. It's $140 for the month of November. And also, this one, guys, I think is really pretty good, especially coming off of doing the 3-day refresh with Kristen. They now have a PIO Kickstart Challenge Pack. With that, guys, you get the 3-day refresh plus a regular challenge pack for $180 for PIO. So, guys, a 3-day refresh, a bag of Shakeology, the PIO program, all for $180. But remember, the most important thing is they get you. And I always say that to you guys. It's about putting value to what they're getting, and you can't put a price tag on a coach. You cannot do it, and you cannot give the support that we have with our challenge groups every month, okay? Next is the Beachbody Ultimate Reset Challenge Pack has been extended through November at $275. I know Darren O'Lean, the creator of Shakeology, as you all know, is going through it. He was on, I think, day 4 during the surge. And a couple things with us and our team. We're going into the last week of our challenge groups. It is week 4. So the captains of the challenge groups will be posting the exit video about what the next step is. So wait to see that for that to come. And remember, guys, for those of you that have challenges, after the exit video is posted, you want to follow up with them with the email message to your challenges, to your prospective coaches. And you can find that exactly on the under our files tab of the Coaches of Team Perseverance doc section. Sorry about hesitating. I had a text come in. Some people maybe are having trouble getting on, but I see more people popping on. So remember, you're going to follow up with the email message, copy and paste, guys. The script is there. It's been through trial and error. It works. So follow it, okay? Our next challenge group that we're going to be running is November 17th, and we're going to use the same system, and the diamonds on the team will organize the groups. And remember, the thing with Team Perseverance, and I really start from the beginning, is no coach left behind. It's like the military saying, nobody left behind. So therefore, you will never run a challenge group by yourself as an early coach. We do it together as a team, so you have the support and the guidance to help you succeed. Okay? Coach training, our 30-day Team Perseverance coach training started today, so good luck to a bunch of you. I think there's 20-something people that are in the coach training, the 30-day training with Team Perseverance. So guys, good luck. Michelle is running that, and she did an awesome job in October, so Michelle, thank you. And last but not least, and most important, guys, is recognition. So I'm going to get right into recognition and then get into our guest speaker tonight. So, guys, every week I go through the coaches that have 100 volume points or more on Team Perseverance. So this week, with 100 volume points or more, we have, and bear with me, we have Amanda Landsman at 105. We have Kristen Cleary at 180. Shannon Larice at 180, who's just finishing up the training. Good job, Shannon, doing awesome. Shanna Carlucci at 180. We have Tara Richmond, 105. Samantha Healy, 199. Melissa Prasad, 180. Rosanna Bergio at 140. Way to go, Rosanna. James Hajinski, 180. We have Liz Schwartz, 142. Monica Nazario, 180. We also have Erin Darmody at 180. Laura Schneider at 135. Karen Brazillo, 195. Kelly Delavecchia at 142. Kendra Saris at 104. So, guys, amazing work in the 100 club. In the 200 club, we have Sharice Nolson at 285. We have Laura Carter at 200. We have Kelly Wendy at 270. And moving on, we have Lisa Marr at 270. Way to go, Lisa. Jenny Hall at 270. Jenny, who's in ramp right now in our Emerald to Diamond. Way to go, Jenny. Margaret Smith at 215. And that's it for the 200 club. For the 300 club, we have Maria Peterson at 316. Way to go, Maria. Rachel Roth at 360. Way to go, Rachel. And moving forward, we have Suzanne Henson at 360. Danielle Zito at 315. Way to go, Danielle. And that, one more. Kerry Pietrantonio. Way to go, Kerry, at 370. Guys, in the 400 club of team volume points or more, we have Michelle Della Sala. Way to go, Michelle. And we have G. Marie Cregan at 412 and Elizabeth Mangione at 405. Also, Kristen Smalls at 485. Guys, just amazing this week. And that's it for the 400 club. In the 500 club, I don't think we have anybody in the 500 club this month. And I think we're going right to the winner. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, the winner sucked our doors off. She absolutely, absolutely did amazing. I got to actually find where she is. It is Gina Strecco with 1,117 team volume points. So Gina, absolutely awesome. Gina, as you guys know, guys, just hit diamond last week with her sister Denise at the same time. Have you ever heard of that? A sister and hitting diamond at the same time. So guys, Gina, congratulations. You did awesome, awesome this week. And guys, really amazing things that are happening with the team. So with that, are there any questions with anybody so far right now? Anybody? Any questions? You want to unmute yourself if there's a question? No. So guys, I want to get right into it. I'm really excited about tonight. Our guest speaker, you know, I can tell you that I used to look at Mark from afar as a new coach. The first time I saw Mark was at an event in 2010 with a Tony Horton workout out in that Tony's sister Kit ran and Susan Lucy ran. And I remember seeing Mark, knowing he was in fellow law enforcement, but I was always that person. I never wanted to reach out. I finally probably reached out to Mark probably a little over a year ago and just slowly connected with him. Recently got to see him at Summit this past year. Spent a couple minutes talking to him. I remember at the pre-event Summit meeting. But what really struck me is, you know, Mark was in law enforcement. As all you guys know, I'm a lieutenant with the state police. And Mark, I'm going to let him tell his story, but he was somebody that left law enforcement earlier than doing the 20 years or more, which is my goal, as many of you guys heard me say, to hit my 20 and go. But with that, his leadership and where he's come made me really watch him and look somebody that I look up to. He's a fitness-first guy, which I am. He's been in P90X Plus, P90X2, P90X3. He was a founding coach with Team Beachbody. He's one of the first, I think it was 40 coaches. He's in the Millionaire Club as a Team Beachbody coach, and I just truly look up to him in so many ways. So, Mark, I'm just going to unmute. I think you're unmuted, and the floor is yours, and thank you so much for coming on to talk to Team Perseverance.
Dave, it's my absolute pleasure to be with you guys tonight. And can you hear me okay for
I
starters,
can hear you, yes.
since we're on the jetpack tonight?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, first of all, I've got to say some great things about you, because to grow the team that you have and the time that you have is absolutely awesome. I wish that I had the foresight to have recruited you back at that event when I met you out east, but it is what it is. So you're doing a great job. For those of you that have Dave as your upline, you couldn't ask for a better guy. He's absolutely into this business. He's got his mind in the right place, and follow his lead and you're going to go far in the business. So for me, a little bit more about my story. I was actually a Beachbody customer. I started back in 2002, probably at an all-time low point in my life. And I bought a workout called Power 90. We have P90 now, which of course is the remade version of the original. But I was trying to get on the SWAT team at the time, and I couldn't make the run. And as sad as that is, I bought P9 or Power 90. I did the 80 days of the program, and on day 80 we had our SWAT test come up. I shaved 2 minutes and 45 seconds off my run time, and I ended up making SWAT. So as Dave mentioned, I served 18 years in law enforcement, and I was able to get out of that thanks to the Beachbody coaching opportunity. When I came into the business, probably much like all of you, I worked it on a very part-time basis. I was very passionate about it when Carl gave me the call and said, hey, come out to California. We want to tell you about this new business opportunity we have going. I knew nothing about network marketing. I knew how to drive fast, eat donuts, and throw people on the ground. That was about my limits. But I had a strong passion for the programs, because after I did Power 90, I went on, I did Slim and 6, and then I was one of the first 100 customers to do P90X when it launched back in 2004. So I was very vested in it. And also, in 2003, when I was going through Slim and 6, Beachbody had the message boards. Now, since then, it's transitioned to Facebook and other social media, but I started coaching people back before coaching was even a thing, because I had a strong passion for helping people, and that's kind of what fired me up. Got invited to come on as a founder. Had no idea what I was doing. I probably talked more people out of the business than I talked into it, just vomiting, man, you got to do this, you got to do this. But, in time, we came up with our own training, and we helped corporate build their training platforms, and it's evolved and evolved and evolved. So for those of you that are new coaches in this business now, you are coming in at an awesome time, because the training that we have is streamlined, and best part of all, it works. Dave mentioned that I'm a fitness first guy. Absolutely, 100%. That's how I connect with people. That's what works for me. But one of the things that I want to share with all of you is that if you're a business first person, that's okay too. There's no one way to grow this business. And what I've learned through the almost 8 years now working this network is that all of us have our own unique strengths. We have the things that we're comfortable with, and we have the things that we're uncomfortable with. And if you can find that niche that works for you, that's the way that you should focus on growing your business. For me, connecting with people and helping people turn that light bulb on when it comes to fitness. P90 is a great example of that now, because I have a whole bunch of people in my neighborhood that were in bad shape, and they had, excuse after excuse why they couldn't stick to it, why they couldn't do a program. So what I did is I went out and I bought 10 copies of P90, and I gave them to my neighbors that were in need of it. So it eliminated the I don't have money to do this excuse. And I said, I'm going to give this to you, but in exchange, you're going to give me 90 days, and you're going to do a challenge group with me. So like all of you do with your challenge groups, I started a Facebook group. I use the challenge group guides because they're easy. It's copy and paste. You put it right in there and you walk it through. And I can't begin to tell you the results that my neighbors are getting. We just started week 4 today, and they're saying, man, I've got more energy. I can't believe, what did they put in that Shakeology? My wife and I got up this morning, we did the workout, and then she vacuumed the house and she ran all over the place. And it's just seeing that switch flip for them. And these are people that have been unhealthy for years, and just 4 weeks in, they're already starting to see a difference. So that's what fires me up, is getting that connection, and having people that I've coached maybe for a year or less come up to me at the end of that time and say, man, you saved my life. I was on this med and this med and this med and a sleep apnea monitor, and I was on the road to ruin, and my parents died when they were young. And that's what does it for me, and that's what fires me up. So the money is a great side effect, but like Dave said, you give yourself to the people that you're coaching, and that pays you back tenfold. I never worried about how much I was going to make. When I started in the business, honestly, my thought was, if I can make enough money in this business to offset the cost of the programs that I'm going to use anyways, I'm happy with that. And in fact, when I signed up, for those of you that don't know a lot about coach background, most of us are in debt. Most of us work multiple jobs to make ends meet. For me, when October rolled around, that meant it was time to start working 16 hours of overtime a week so I could buy my kids Christmas presents. So we're in hock, we get lousy sleep, we're grumpy, curmudgeon-y guys, and Beachbody really changed all that for me. And it changed not by any great miracle. It changed by showing up every single day and being passionate about what I cared about and sharing that passion with other people. Because when people start to feel that change and they start to see that change, it doesn't only influence them, it lights a candle for those people around them, and then those people around them, and it just continues to build and build and build and build. And that's really what the business is all about. You have to find that way that you connect best with people. I have people ask me quite often, you've been at this for a while, so obviously I've exhausted my warm market a long time ago. But I tend to stock the vitamin aisle at Walmart. So I'll go into the store there and I'll see somebody looking at vitamins, and I'll just walk up and start a conversation and say, hey, a lot to choose from, isn't there? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be, so my next question is, well, do you exercise, or are you just looking for some supplements? Well, I know I need to start exercising, but I haven't done it for a while, and I'm just trying to eat better. And I totally understand. And that ends up evolving into a brief conversation about, well, what do you do for a living? I'm an independent fitness consultant for a company called Beachbody. And then it goes from there. And I say, you know what, you're busy shopping. I got to get some stuff. Let me get your email address because I'd like to follow up with you. And that's it. And I guarantee that it's gonna happen. I talk to people there. I talk to people at the gas station. I talk to people at the movie theater. In the wear and share stuff, these P90X3, I see Dave's got his on. Yeah, that really works. I was on a flight one time coming back from LA, and I was sitting reading a book in the LA airport. I had a P90X shirt on. I had 6 different people come up to me over the course of 2 hours because how air travel is. Starting a conversation about P90X, I ended up with 6 new customers as a result. And trust me when I tell you this, if I can do this, anybody on this call can do this. I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I just have a strong passion for what we do, and I believe in our products. And I would never try and sell anybody anything that didn't. The other thing is, and this may draw some negative feedback from some, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't ever focus on points for Shakeology or making this contest or making that contest as your driver. I've had coaches in my team that have done that, and then they end up with negative points because they have so many returns. And as I dig a little bit deeper into it, what I've discovered is they're so focused on making those points that they're not truly serving their customer and connecting them with the right program and connecting them with the product that works for them. Everybody on this planet is in a different space or time in their journey. Somebody may see P90X on TV, but they may not have worked out for 20 years. So that is not the program to sell them. You want to really ask a lot of questions. If you're truly serving your customer, the first thing that you think about is, what can I do to help this person live a longer, healthier, better life? And if you take that and you use that as step one, everything else is going to fall into place. You're going to get those points. You're going to get a customer for life, because everybody wants to be served, but nobody wants to be sold. So those are just a few little tidbits. I could sit here and ramble, but maybe you guys have some questions, or maybe Dave has some follow-up for something that I may have said.
So Mark, I guess, so the big thing, and I just did a YouTube video on this, and I think you saw it last week, is and you mentioned is, you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. It's really about building the relationships, and it's really about helping them first. I mean, it seems like you mentioned multiple times, like your neighbors, and I remember seeing the picture of the box you posted on Facebook with all the P90s, and you gave them, and you're helping them, but now they're feeling better and they're feeling thankful. And no matter what happens at the end, in the end, if you give enough to others and build it, it always comes back to you.
That's true. And on that point too, Dave, I also included samples for them, but I've had four of these neighbors that have now ordered Shakeology on Home Direct. And I didn't push the sale. I said, this is what I drink because I believe in this product. They see the price and they balk at it. And I said, you know what? It's $4.33 a day. And I know for a fact my neighbor 2 doors down spends 5 times that amount in beer every weekend, at least before he started P90, you know? So one of the other things I told him is, you know, you can spend the money on it now, or you can spend the money on it 15 years from now when you're having expensive medications that are only going to keep going up and getting more costly. You know, and that's just kind of my approach. It's a very passive approach to it. It's not a pushy thing. It's really connecting them with what works. And, you know, I wouldn't ever sell anything that I didn't believe in. I'll never sell my soul for a buck. I connect people with things that work. I've sent people to Walmart to buy 6-star protein because that was the budget that they were on at the time. And, you know, I've had people that say, you know, I've loved your coaching, but I can't afford to do it anymore. I just lost my job. And I said, you know, I don't coach you because I make a buck off you. I coach you because I want to help you when you listen to what I tell you to do. And then you take charge of your life and you do that. And man, that comes back around. There is nothing better. There's no better feeling in this world than helping somebody that's in need. And one last thing, and then I'll stop rambling again for a minute. I don't know how many of you on this call have had a bad day where you're just angry for whatever reason. Maybe you're fighting with your spouse. Maybe, I don't know what it could be. It could be any number of things, but observe this next time. Talk to somebody and genuinely care about putting them first and see how much you can help them. And all the garbage that you're carrying inside that's got you in a bad mood is going to go away. It's going to be like a dark cloud that's gone over and just blown past down the block. You can't be in a bad mood when you're really focused on helping somebody else. So help other people. It helps you in return.
You know, I read that in John Maxwell all the time. That's awesome. So, Mark, a couple questions I have for you, and then I'm going to see if the team has any questions that I just kind of jotted down today. What would you say was your, like, because I know there's a lot of coaches here, and they're trying to, when is it going to click? What was your aha, you know, with the business, that this really is something more than you imagined, helping people probably back when you were still on the job?
Yeah, you know, that's for sure. You know, when I say I work this part-time, I probably did 20 hours a week. My typical shift at the PD, I started at 5 o'clock at night. I worked till 3 in the morning. I would inevitably catch late paper or overtime, or people do stupid things right at shift change because they know it's shift change. And I'd catch a couple hours of overtime. So Dave's laughing because he's like, but you know what I would do is I would go home, I would go to bed, I would get up and work out, and then I would work my business for 3 to 4 hours. And by work my business, I mean I would regiment what I was going to do for those 4 hours. And that was part of my aha. It was just showing up every day and being persistent and consistent. The thing that we're lucky about is that our business model and the fitness model parallel each other, okay? If you work out twice a week, you may as well throw yourself down a flight of stairs because you're going to get sore, but you're never going to see results. And if you only work this business 2 days a week, it's a hobby. You're treating your business like a hobby. When you treat your fitness real and you regiment it and you show up every day, you're going to get progress. It's the exact same thing with your business. You show up, I don't care if you only have 10 minutes. If it's 10 minutes and you're sending out invites for your next challenge group, that's 10 minutes that you're spending working on your business.
Wow.
So I guess that was kind of my aha, was just the biggest takeaway I could give would be persistent, be consistent, and use your time wisely. If you're going to be on Facebook sending out invites, you're not on Facebook playing Candy Crush or whatever the hell other nonsense out there that everybody wants to invite you to play. Use your time wisely. Work off of a calendar. I reached a point in the business where I was really getting burned out, and I was neglecting the things with my family and doing the things that I was supposed to be doing because I was so focused on the business. And what I ended up having to do was I had to schedule downtime. So I would actually put on my calendar, stop work at 4 o'clock, and that was it. The phone goes up, the computer goes up, and I'm done until the next day. I would make a list every day. You know, I have a to-do list. You get through the top things in the priority. Anything that's left on that list goes to the top of the priority list for the next day. And if you just do those little simple habits and you do them every single day, you're going to see growth. And it's just being persistent and consistent. I've talked to people before that have said, oh yeah, I was a beach body coach before, but I quit. It didn't work for me. I said, well, I didn't, and it did work for me. You know, you've got to stay the course. When I first came into the business, they said, give it a year. I tell anybody that comes on, you got to give it 2 years, because the first year in your business, you're just barely getting your feet wet. You're just really learning the business. Like I said, I'm coming up on 8 years doing this now. One thing I will tell you, if you want to know what it took me 7 years to learn, pick up Eric Worre's book, Go Pro. I read that on my way out to Summit a couple years ago. Eric had just put the book out, and I literally was laughing out loud because I had made every single mistake he talked about in that book. And literally, if I knew, I wish I wrote it when I started in this business, and I would have read it, because it would have been a game changer. So do yourself a favor. If you haven't read that one, pick it up and read it. Add it to your personal development list.
And more than once, because I read
more
it
than once. Yeah, I read it about every 3 months.
It's funny. Some of the things you hit on a couple of the points, because I actually, when I first messaged you, Mark, a few years ago, I wrote this down. I reached out to you probably 2-3 years ago, just touching base. And the one thing you said to me, I think it's so important for coaches to hear, is that you told me, give it a year. It takes a good year for the momentum to start, you know? Mm-hmm. And for me, it took longer because I wasn't owning the business, you know, until probably a year and a half ago. And that really struck me. And you just said it again, you know, it takes a year. So many people think it's success overnight, but it's not. But it can give you amazing success if you're persistent and consistent.
Yep, that's exactly right. The only place that reward comes before work is in the dictionary. And that's the truth. That's really it in a nutshell. I mean, you've got to show up day after day, and don't ever give up. They've never erected statues to honor quitters.
You know? They're very true. Mark, how do you deal, and I know I got it a lot, and it's funny for me, it's come back, but in law enforcement, and I know with everybody, how did you deal with the criticism you undoubtedly will get in the beginning from your coworkers, your family, your friends? Because I tell my team, your harshest critics are the closest people around you. I would get my balls busted, you know, from coworkers about, oh, you're going to be doing a Richard Simmons workout. But so many times, years now, it comes back. But early on, it's so hard. A lot of our coaches on here, they're less than a year, they're a year. And, you know, what did you do in the beginning, you know, to help you stay focused, realizing the big picture?
I had a handful of the coppers I was working with actually sign up as coaches. And then there were a lot of them, like you're talking about. I call them Weight Watchers, because they wait and watch to see what you do. I spun this into a 6-figure income working it part-time in about 2.5 years. And when I gave my notice to leave the police department, I had a whole bunch of them that said, you know, I really want to talk to you about this. Is this something that I can do? What you're going to find, you know, and I don't care what business people are coming from, you're never going to know where your next star is going to come from, because you're going to have people, I want every single coach on my team to be successful, and I want them to be $1 million earners, and I want them to be the ones walking across the stage instead of me. But the truth is, they have to want it as bad as you want it for them. You know, if you are on this call and you haven't set goals for yourself, and I mean big goals, and it's the same thing again with your fitness. I'm going to be this weight by this date. I'm going to be this rank by this date. You've got to do that. I'm telling you, that is so huge and so important. Get yourself a dream board if you don't have one, and start putting things up there. I thought it was the silliest thing ever when I first heard it. I started doing it. And you want to talk about feeling empowered? Wait till you put something on that board and you take it down because you've achieved it. And now you have to put something bigger up there. I'm telling you, it is so important to do. The other thing is personal development. That's one of the things that I kind of scoffed at. Back in the day, I was in the very first, it was basically what's an accelerated diamond group now. And personal development was one of the requirements. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to do this stuff. This is stupid. I don't need it. Well, lo and behold, at the time, and I apologize to segue just as briefly as I can here, my dad was dying of cancer at the time. And I didn't realize how much of a positive impact that personal development was having on me, with being able to be the rock for my mom and be there for my dad and do the things that I needed to do with a positive mindset, instead of getting sucked down into that mire that goes along with it. So that was a huge selling point for me, was going through that. And then I realized finally how big that is to do. So, and 10 pages a day, 10 minutes a day, however you want to do it, listen to it in the car or read it. I'm typically one, I don't like to read books unless there's pictures, because I get bored.
Yeah. They say success leaves clues, and I fought it too. I fought the personal development, and now for the past 12 months, it's been, at least for me, it's 2 books a month, and I directly contribute the reading and listening to the direct reflection of my growth and helping the team grow is personal development. And I was just like you. I fought it. Even now at times, you know, even other, again, coworkers, cops, you know, you don't need this personal growth. And you know, I have the bigger picture. And, you know, I'm glad you said that. It's just huge, personal development. My last question for you, and I'm going to see if anybody in the team has any questions. Mark, live events, you know, how important do you feel going to Summit is, getting there to Nashville next year, Super Saturdays, you know, and how have they think affected you and your business of going and attending live events?
I think it's huge, and I'll tell you why. It's one thing to sit and be on a call, and you've got great energy. You know, I can only imagine how fired up your team is having this, but you take this environment and then you move it into a venue where you have 10,000 coaches that are sharing that same excitement like you do at Summit. It is absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, just awesome. By the way, talking about Super Saturdays, Bob Modica and I were talking about maybe working out some dates where I can come up to you guys in New York and put on a live workout for you. Because I'll tell you, bring people in with the meeting, and you'll draw 3 times as many people. Because everybody enjoys it. It's fun. And you've got all kinds of different fitness levels. Everybody's at a different place in their journey. Everybody's at a different place in their business, but everybody's excited because you're all in the same place and it's contagious.
No, Bob actually.
And it's positive. It's not like Ebola.
You were breaking up a little bit when you said it, but I know I can tell you, Bob reached out to me, said, Dave, you doing Super Saturday again? I said, yes, I've been consistently doing them now for like a year and a half. Once again, leaving a year and a half ago Summit, I'm owning it, that's it, I'm done. And now it's like I'm running them. He said, hey, maybe I can get Mark, we'll talk to Mark, maybe get him to come out to New York. And you brought it up again, so I guess he brought it up to you.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. You know, I'm going to Minnesota in January. I had to do a rain check for DC. I think they've got the spring one, but you know, that idiot decided to set the air traffic control tower on fire up there. So I didn't make it out to DC. So they get the next call, but I'm open. My goal this year for 2015, you know, again, still setting goals. I want to hit a Super Saturday in a different state for each one and do a live workout. So
then I'll message you and talk to Bob. Maybe we'll get you in the second one down, January, maybe the one in the summer.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Mark, definitely. I'd love to have you come here in New York. That'd be great.
That would be fun.
Amazing. Team, guys, there's a bunch of you on, and I know this always happens. I say, guys, any questions? No, nobody doesn't want to say anything. I hit the end meeting, and my inbox pops up with questions. So I want to see if anybody has any questions for Mark. I think the easiest way, maybe if you guys want to type them in the chat, or if you can unmute yourself, either way. Any questions for Mark? I know there's questions, guys. There's 43 of you on right now. So please, any questions for Mark? He's a wealth of information.
Dave?
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead. Who is this?
It's Rosanna.
Hey, there you are, Rosanna. How are you?
Good.
Go ahead.
Mark, I know you've been doing this for over 10 years now. Can you tell us what was your biggest mistake when you started this business, maybe even during or now, and how did you deal with and overcome that?
My biggest mistake was probably, I would have to say, spewing too much information and thinking that the business was for everybody or that a certain program was for everybody. And what that ended up being was I came off as salesy or I came off as pushy. So what I've learned to do is ask questions and then close my mouth and listen and then ask more questions. You know, if you want to see if this business is for somebody, you need to ask some questions. Would you like to be, you know, to have the ability to make a car payment without it coming out of your regular paycheck? That would be huge for somebody. Or pay your rent, you know, or you want to go on a trip, you want to go on vacation. What if I could show you a way to do that? Would that be something you'd be interested in? And then be quiet and get the responses. You know, one of the things I'm big on using are the videos, the sharing tools. And I know this is getting a little bit off, but one of the things I do is even still I send the introducing Team Beachbody video, and when I have somebody watch it, I ask them, I say, you watched the video? Yes, I did. Which part of it was most appealing to you? Was it the fitness or the business, or were you interested in both of them? Because if they tell me, you know, I'm not really interested in the business model, but I like the workout, I'm done talking about the business. I'm not going to say another word about the business at that point. I'm going to connect them with the right program for them. They're going to go through a challenge group. And I know that they're going to get excited about it. And I know that if they rise up within the group and start kind of nurturing the others, those cues we look for, then they're going to be coach material. And then at that time, they'll be ready. If I have somebody from day one that says, I really like the business model and I like the fitness aspect, I'm going to focus on both. So ask the questions. Don't assume anything either. That was another thing. There were people I didn't talk to about the business because I thought, oh, they wouldn't want to do that. And they ended up signing up with somebody else. So, keep an open mind, ask a lot of questions, and then listen to the answers and then move forward from there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Come on, guys. I know there's questions.
And if you're shy, you can route through Dave, or you can connect with me on Facebook. I'm all over the social media platforms, and I'll be happy to answer your questions if you're nervous about running a forum.
Anybody else? Yes.
This is Gina.
Hey, Gina. 1,100 weekly winner of volume.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's super exciting. Mark, I have a question. I have a couple of coaches who keep saying that they want to coach, and they truly, genuinely do, I believe. And then every time I'm like, okay, you ready? They're always saying, like today somebody sent me a message, oh, I just had to spend $400 this week. My kid outgrew all of his clothes. And so life always gets in the way. And as passionate as I am, I want to tell them that and push them, but there's a fine line of being too pushy. But also I want to say, like, bite the bullet. Let's just do this. Let's start making money. You won't ever have this issue. But I'm teetering on where it's too far, and maybe you could help me get a better idea of how to handle.
Sure. Well, first of all, we're not in the convincing business, because if you talk somebody into signing up and they really don't want to sign up, they're not going to do anything as a coach anyway, and then they're going to make excuses, and then they're going to quit.
Okay.
I've been known to be probably too blunt, which tends to offend some people. My wife can probably vouch for that one. But it's kind of, I'm not kid glove with anybody, and I try not to be offensive to people, but I tell people, and if you're serious about growing a business, then you really need to be committed to growing the business. You're never going to have money because there's never going to be the right time if you keep that mindset. But I also understand that change is scary, and making that commitment is scary. But if they want to sign up and pay the $39.95, which is dirt cheap to join a business to begin with, and then they're obviously needing to be at 50 PV minimum to have their active status, that's a pretty small investment. And if they're buying a program, or even if signing up as a coach, they have a time period that they can turn around and quit, and they're not out any money.
Right.
So it's just a matter of really defining it. The other thing I would help them focus on is, what's their why? Because if their why is strong enough and this business model fits for them, then that's great. Back in the beginning, I would sign anybody up that I could get to sign, because I just so wanted coaches. And at this point in the game, I'm much more selective about who I bring on my team, because I want to make sure that this is going to be a proper fit for them. There's a lot of other marketing companies out there, and the ones I'm talking about, that put skin stuff and rub it on their face once a month. And if that's the thing for them, then that's fine. Go do that. But I don't want them coming onto my team, because really we're selling lifestyle. It is a lifestyle change. It's not a renewable once a month product that we have. It's improving people's lives. So I want to make sure that that's right for them. Mm-hmm. The other thing I would say, and I'm sorry, this is such a long answer.
This is good.
Don't ever give up on people either. I have a thing, even with my coaches. I have coaches on my team that have signed up. They've been coaches for 4 or 5 years, and they've literally done nothing, but they're still a coach. I send out what I call the Wednesday check-in email, which I do by video now as well. It tells them how to have active status. It's just kind of one of those things that says, hey, I'm here to help you. Whenever you're ready to pull the trigger, let's go. I've had coaches that have done nothing for 3 years that finally said this year, I'm in, let's jump on this. I'm ready to roll. So never give up on them. Just because the time's not right now doesn't mean the time's not going to be right for them a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now. But it has to be on their terms.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Questions? Lisa, I see your question, but just post that on the coach's page. We'll get that there. That's really about genealogy and placement. We'll take care of that issue.
Hey, Dave, it's Shannon.
Hey, Shannon. How are you?
Good. So my question pertains to professionalism in my current place. I work in a corporate job, and people are approaching me in my current position, going, "Wow, you look great. What are you doing? You're always so high energy. I want to do that too," because I travel for a living and it's exhausting. And I want to share with them everything, but I don't want to cross a corporate line.
Completely understand.
So I think, I'm not in a position to lose my job right now. I see the potential growth in this, and I'm committed to sticking with it. I just want to be tactful about what's appropriate in the workplace.
I run into this a lot with the military as well. And this is what I generally recommend is when people approach you, if it's in the workplace and they start discussing it, I would say by our company policy, I'm not really allowed to discuss these type of things right now. But if you'd like to contact me offline when we're not working, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. And then I would take it from there.
Okay.
Is that something that would fit within your corporate policy?
It does. I think so. I mean, I think I'm going to go check some of our policies. I just think that, most of this is done offline anyway.
Right.
And you do become friends with your coworkers, and I just want to make sure that I'm smart about it. And have you had that experience yourself? Had you had people approach you at your line of where you had to do something like that as well?
With law enforcement, it wasn't so much of an issue, because again, I often segued into it with the fitness aspect of it. Everybody needs fitness. I don't care what job we work. So connecting them with programs, if you started off that way and they want to buy it from you, and I deal a lot with military, so that's why I keep kind of going back to that. They have to be very careful even referring them to their own coach business, and that's what I've told them is say, hey, we're at work now. If you want to talk offline, we can do that later on, and I'll give you some information. And I also caution them, I would not be pursuing aggressively on any of that stuff. Just, these are we offer a wide variety of programs. If this is something you're interested in, we can talk about it offline, and I would connect with them that way.
Okay.
And also check with your HR department to make sure your own company's policies and as long as you get the green light from them, and I would have a written copy of it because it's always good in case somebody wants to turn around and splash back, and that's just the law enforcement side of me with dealing with nonsense from companies before. You've got to safeguard yourself, obviously, in your career. So that's how I would handle it.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shannon, on the heels of that, Shannon, I deal with it every day because when I made commissioned officer as a lieutenant now, just like Mark said, state police in New York is very paramilitary. I'm at the point now that just, people have to salute me when I come in the room, and people know that I'm a fitness first guy. I'm drinking my Shakeology, I'm working out, thank you all. So the point being is people have come up to me and I even still get uncomfortable. When I send emails for work, I end it with my initials, DWA. I've had one of the guys directly under me. He's like, hey, listen, I'm doing this T25. I just want to get it through you. And I just, I saw him afterwards and I sent him an email. And I'm like, do I want to write from Dave? But really, he knows me as an authority figure. And I just leave it be, Shannon, to be honest, because I feel like there's so many more people on social media. It was easier as a trooper and as an investigator or detectives, but now I'm in the position, probably equivalent where you are in corporate America, me having rank in the state police, it's every day. It's every day. People ask me, I feel like I'm a brand new coach. I don't know what to say because I'm like frozen. We're usually like, and I can get their information here. Are you on Facebook? And I give them my phone. Like, unfortunately, I think I have a lot of people I think I can help that are directly under me, but I leave it be. It kind of stinks, but it's the environment we're in,
Right.
So I feel you. So sorry to make it a longer answer, Mark.
No. Long answers are good answers. It's fine.
It was good.
Good information.
Anybody else? I see from Peterson, I'll ask Mark, what are your thoughts on automatic ACO? And I have a lot of customers who see it as spam. Any suggestions on how I can make it more attractive? I don't even know if, Mark, if you use that That's how.
I actually am. I have it tied in with my website. I have guys that manage my website because, like I said, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but like Henry Ford, I surround myself with people who are. I think it's a great system, quite honestly. And the other thing that's awesome about it is it's customizable. So you know, a lot of their stuff was salesy. I know a lot of the guys on our team went through and they took out the sales pitch, and instead of that, they shared a success story. So it was far less salesy or spammy. The other thing is, I think it's a great system too, because when you get busier, you know, like I said, a lot of you are working this very part-time, but even like for me, I don't personally have the time to chase down every lead. So the fact that I can put somebody on a drip campaign through ACEO and I can write the content so it fits my personality, it's an invaluable tool, especially for $25 a month. You can't beat it. My guy, if you take a look at whoknowsaguyfitness.com, that's the guy that built out my website. He offers actually 6 different templates, and we're looking at ways that everybody could get those and be integrated with ACEO. They're sharp, clean, much better than what we have through corporate, and they're inexpensive and affordable. I was spending some serious coin on web stuff, and then they developed that, and I was like, man, why didn't you think of that 3 years ago when I started working with you? But you know, it's just par for the course, the evolution of things. So as you get busier, you're going to want to find ways that you can automate a lot more of your stuff. Even the trainings we have, I don't know how many of you have taken a look at the automated program we have through our website, and I mean our private website. But it's one of those things that was just kind of daunting and tedious after you do it hundreds and hundreds of times. So now I'm freed up, and I have 13 training modules that people can go for Coach Basics. So, and that was a rough start, as Dave will tell you. We had never ever launch anything on a Friday. I'm just going to leave it at that, because anything can go wrong will. But yeah, circling back again, I swear I'm like a little cat. You shine a laser and I start chasing it and bouncing all over the place. ACEO is worth the investment, and it just rewrite the scripts so they fit your style, and you won't have that spam issue.
Absolutely, I agree. Anybody else? Anybody want to unmute? Question for Mark? Guys, anybody? I'm just going to scroll through, make sure nobody's waving their hand in the guys, nothing else? Going once, going twice. All right, guys. So I guess, Mark, with that, thank you so much for giving me the time and working this out. I'm glad. Guys, for those of you who don't know, Mark called me 15 minutes before. He has no internet. I think he's on a hotspot right now. We were going to go to the old free conference calling that I used to use.
My handy jet pack from Verizon saved the day.
So there you go, and it works great. So, Mark, really thank you, and I'm definitely going to take you up, and I'll talk to Bob. We'll reach out to get you to New York in 2015. That'd be great. And otherwise,
my pleasure.
Thank you, Mark, again. And guys, team, this will be recorded for the team. Guys, Blitz, we still have some time left. Have a great week. 4th week of our challenge group. Love all you guys, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.